Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Old Time Rock and Roll, or now it's called Dave's Top 3000 Songs of the Rock Era. This is my second weekly live stream feature. I'm doing weekly live streams every Monday at 6 p.m. from 6 to 7 Pacific Standard Time, which I guess is 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I know that's not very convenient for European audiences, but I think it works okay in America and Asia. And you can always leave comments. If you want me to change a time or whatever you want me to do, or if you want to make requests for certain types of music you want me to profile, or if you just have general questions. I'm always open to whatever suggestions you might have. So please leave whatever comments you have. You can also use the chat window to chat. If you have any comments, I'll try to answer whatever questions or comments you have while you're here. Anyway, enough said about all that. So today I'm going to go over the earliest type of rock and roll, which is called rockabilly. This was popular mainly from around 1954 to around. I should have written 59 here. That's a typo. Sorry about that. But anyway, I'm going to profile three different rockabilly acts, probably three of the biggest ones. I'll start with Bill Haley and his Comets. And the reason I'm starting with them is because, first of all, they were one of the earliest. And I think you guys all know the song Rock Around the Clock. I mean, a lot of people consider that the first rock and roll song of all time. But an even earlier song by them, which I guess wasn't such a huge hit, I mean, I think it was a pretty big hit, but not as big as Rock Around the Clock, was a song called Shake, Rattle, and Roll. That came out the previous year, 1954. So I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to play a sample of, I'm going to play the song Shake, Rattle, and Roll and react to it. And you guys can dance along or do whatever you want, sing along. Anyway, here it goes. Should have shown your picture. Sorry about that. I switched to that picture. Cause I'm a hungry man. I said shake, rattle and roll. 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 Well, you never do nothing to save your doggone soul. Wearing those dresses, your head done up so nice. Wearing those dresses, your head done up so nice. You look so warm, but your heart is cold as ice. I said shake, rattle and roll. 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 Well, you never do nothing to save your doggone soul. Seafood store. I'm like a one-eyed cat peeping in a seafood store. I can look at you, tell you don't love me no more. I believe you're doing me wrong, and now I know. I believe you're doing me wrong, and now I know. The more I work, the faster my money goes. Okay, that was Shake, Rattle, and Roll by Bill Haley and his Comets. And That's definitely a rock and roll song. I mean, I can only imagine what that must have been like listening to that song in 1954. Um, Big departure from all the earlier music. I think you could probably tell. I mean, the most popular music, at least among white audiences at that time, was probably swing and polka. And I don't think people used to call the older generation square, and I think square kind of became a catchphrase around around the mid 50s because anybody that didn't like this rock and roll was square. And this was the new music for the young generation, and primarily among, I'd say, white audiences who hadn't listened to much blues, rhythm and blues, which was kind of like rock and roll, but mainly for black audiences. I don't think white people listened to it very much. This was something new. And I mean, you could just imagine, they heard this rhythm, this beat, and just really fun to dance to, really gets you moving. I mean, how could you not like this stuff, especially after having been inundated with all this polka and swing and foxtrot and all this other square shit? So, I can understand why this became really popular. I'm a little surprised that Shake, Rattle, and Roll wasn't a bigger hit, though. Maybe rock and roll hadn't quite emerged into the scene. I mean, the next song I'm going to play is really the one that really kind of put rock and roll front stage, and that's the one I think you guys all know, Rock Around the Clock. And before I play it, I'm going to just say, one more thing about it. It was featured in a movie called Blackboard Jungle. That's probably a big reason why it became such a big hit because, it was the teenagers were going out to the movies, going out to the drive-in. Even before rock and roll started, they were, borrowing their parents' cars and, making out in the back seat, going to the drive-ins, and maybe they watched. I don't know if Blackboard Jungle was playing in the drive-in movies. It probably was some of them. But I think it was more just regular theaters. But imagine teenagers going to see Blackboard Jungle and then hearing "Rock Around the Clock" as a theme song. As a matter of fact, I think I mentioned this last week. Some teenagers got so crazy when they heard this song that they were tearing the seats out of the movie theaters. I mean, you can only imagine what that must have been like. So now I'm going to play "Rock Around the Clock" for you guys. Anyway, here it goes. Gotta get it up first here. Yeah. Um, okay, here we go.
Bill Haley and his Comets.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on, join me home. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 2, 3, and 4, if the band slows down, we'll yell for more. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the chimes ring 5, 6, and 7, we'll be right in 7th heaven. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Oh, when it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, how we going strong, and so will you. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Okay, that was Rock Around the Clock. One of the great songs of the rock era, I think. I am usually doing my Dave's Top 3000. That one coming in very, very high. I'm not going to say how high. But one of the greatest songs of the rock era, I think. And certainly the thing that really put rock and roll front stage. And it was such a big hit. I mean, it was one of the biggest hits of the year 1955. I don't think it was the biggest. I think that was Cherry Pink and Alpha Blossom White by Perez Prado on his orchestra, which is a pretty square song. I think that was the previous number one right before Rockin' Around the Clock. But Rockin' Around the Clock, I think, was the second biggest hit of the year. Spent 8 weeks at number one, spent a total of 38 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, which was one of the longest songs ever still on the Billboard chart. And it was a hit twice. I mean, it was so popular. I don't know how many guys saw the movie American Graffiti, but it became a hit again in 1974 due to that movie, the success of the movie American Graffiti. It was also used as this theme song to that movie as well. Wasn't a very big hit that year. I think it only went to number 39, but it did hit twice. Not too many songs have hit twice, especially 20 years apart. So really, really great song. And I'm going to feature one more song by Billy Haley in his comments. This was another really big hit from the following year. It's called "See You Later, Alligator." And that became a very common catchphrase. People used to say, "See you later, alligator," after "Wild Crocodile." There were a lot of catchphrases that sort of caught on with the young generation in the 50s. Like "What's the story, Morning Glory," all that. So anyway, here's "See You Later, Alligator." I'm going to do that one now. Um, Hang on a sec. Okay.
See you later, alligator. Well, I saw my baby walking with another man today. Well, I saw my baby walking with another man today. When I asked her what's the matter, this is what I heard her say. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you fit my style? When I thought of what she told me, nearly made me lose my head. When I thought of what she told me, nearly made me lose my head. But the next time that I saw her, reminded her of what she said. See you later, alligator. After wild crocodile. See you later, alligator. After wild crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you can't my style? She said, I'm sorry, pretty daddy. You know my love is just for you. She said, I'm sorry, pretty daddy. You know my love is just for you. Won't you say that you'll forgive me and say your love for me is true? I said, oh, wait a minute, gator. I know you mean it just for play. I said, wait a minute, gator. I know you mean it just for play. Don't you know you really hurt me? And this is what I have to say. See you later, alligator. After wild crocodile. See you later, alligator. After wild crocodile. Can't you see you're in my way now? Don't you know you can't my style?
Okay, well, that was "See You Later, Alligator" by Bill Haley and his Comets, and that completes what I'm doing of the group Bill Haley and his Comets. They didn't have a lot of big hits. I think those were the three main ones. They had a few other ones. I guess I'll just give you one more piece of interesting trivia. "Rock Around the Clock," even though it was such a huge hit, it was a B-side, which is very, very rare. The B-sides outdo the A-side. The A-side was a very obscure record called 13 Women, which hardly anybody's heard. Maybe I should play that one for you guys. I don't know. Actually, I got a lot of songs coming up. I probably shouldn't do that one. I want to do Elvis next. Yeah, that completes my profile of Bill Haley and his Comets. I've got 6 songs here listed by Elvis Presley. He was known as the king of rock and roll. Might as well switch to his picture here. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Elvis. Everybody in the world, I think, just about knows who Elvis Presley was. Really amazing artist. Never really one of my favorites, though. I mean, I like him. I mean, you can't deny he was a great rock and roll musician. But, there's a very good movie came out about 4 years ago called Elvis, which I think is really excellent. Elvis was a very tragic figure, even though he was probably, he was the greatest celebrity in the world when he was popular. I'd say in the 50s, even the early 60s. But he was just a simple country boy. He was born in a small town in Mississippi. I can't even remember the name of the town he was born in, but he was just a simple Southern country boy. And he moved to Memphis. I guess his family moved to Memphis when he was a teenager, and he liked rock and roll. And he listened to all the Memphis blues, all the R&B in Memphis, and he learned to play the guitar, and he learned to play all the R&B, and he started doing it himself. And I guess partly because he was so handsome, also he had a really good voice, and also the fact that he shook his pelvis, he became known as Elvis the Pelvis. And that made girls go nuts every time they saw him do that. It was his image more than anything else, and also it was his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, who really promoted him and passed him off as the greatest thing in the world. But before any of this happened, before he got promoted by Colonel Tom Parker, he was doing rock and roll, but he still wasn't very big. He was in the South, and his first contract was with Sun Records, and his first record he ever recorded was called "That's All Right, Mama." This one came out in 1954. It wasn't a big hit. It wasn't a hit up north at all. I don't think it was even all that big a hit in the South either, but it was his first recording, and he recorded it for his mother. It was a present for his mother. He loved his mother. And unfortunately his mom died in 1959, which was really tragic and really broke his heart. He was a mama's boy. But anyway, the next song I'm going to feature is "That's All Right, Mama" by Elvis Presley, which was his first recording. Anyway, here it goes. Get it up here.
Well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right for you. That's all right, Mama. Just any way you do it, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, Mama. Any way you do. Well, Mama, she done told me. Papa done told me too. Son, that guy you fooling with, she ain't no good to you, but that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, Mama. Any way you do. I'm leaving town, baby. I'm leaving town for sure. Well, then you won't be bothered with me hanging round your door, but that That's alright. That's alright. That's alright, now, mama. Any way you do. Ah, da da dee 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 dee. I need your loving. That's alright. That's alright, now, mama. Any way you do.
Okay, that was That's All Right Mama by Elvis. I think it's a really good song. It's not one you hear a lot, but I think it's one that everybody knows now because Elvis was so famous, even though it wasn't a hit when it came out. It was his first recording, and, pretty good song, I'd say. Doesn't sound all that much like his later stuff. I mean, I don't know if you can even really call this rock and roll. It's more kind of sounds like just kind of standard blues, but sung by a white guy, which was very unusual for that time. I guess that kind of got him noticed. I think that got him noticed by Colonel Tom Parker, and the rest is history, as they say. Now I'm gonna do some of his big hits. He was a hit machine. So his first number one. This was after he was already had Tom Parker as his manager. His first number one song was Heartbreak Hotel. This came out, I believe, in the spring of 1956. 1956 was his banner year. I guess 56 and 57. I'm gonna say one more thing about that first. Let me pull up this song, but I got Heartbreak Hotel while I'm doing that. I'm not very good at multitasking, unfortunately, but here. Yeah. Okay, I got the song ready to play. I just want to say one thing before I start playing this song. Elvis, he spent half of 1956 and half of 1957 at number one. No other artist has ever done that, not even the Beatles. No other artist has spent half the year during the rock era at number one. But Elvis did it 2 years in a row, 26 weeks at number one in both 1956 and 1957. Pretty amazing feat. So now I'm going to play the first of those number ones from 1956. This is Heartbreak Hotel. Here goes. Didn't start at the beginning. Let me do that again.
Well, since my baby left me, well, I found a new place to dwell. Well, it's down at the end of Lonely Street, that Heartbreak Hotel where I'll be. I'll be so lonely, baby. Well, I'm so lonely. I'll be so lonely I could die. Although it's always crowded, you still can find some room for broken-hearted lovers to cry there in the gloom. Be so, well, be so lonely, baby. Well, be so lonely. They're so lonely they could die. Now the bellhop's tears keep flowing, the desk clerk's dressed in black. Well, they've been so long on the street, they'll never look back, and they're so lonely, baby. Well, they're so lonely. Well, they're so lonely they could die. Well, if your baby leaves you, you got a tale to tell. Well, just take a walk down Lonely Street to Heartbreak Hotel, where you will be so lonely, baby. Well, you'll be lonely. You'll be so lonely you could die. Crowded, you still can find some room for broken-hearted lovers to cry. Be so lonely, baby. Well, they're so lonely. They'll be so lonely they could die.
That is a really great song, I think. One of my favorites by Elvis. Another bluesy song, I'd say. But I'd say it's got more of a rock beat than That's All Right Mama. I just think of that as more of a rock and roll song. I don't know why. I mean, maybe partly because I've known it for longer, but I mean, it's just a great song, and it's you can see the blues image. I mean, it's about heartbreak, Heartbreak Hotel, and a lot of blues was like that. It was about sad things that happened to people, mostly, losing your lover, and he sings about a place where broken-hearted people can go. Heartbreak Hotel really resonated with a big audience, I'd say. His follow-up number one was a song called I Want You, I Need You, I Love You. Not really one of my favorites of Elvis, but it's okay. It just barely made my top 3,000. I think it was number 2920 on that list. The first song, I mean the last on my of the all 30 I have 37 songs on my top 3,000 by Elvis, third biggest artist on my list after Beatles and the Rolling Stones. But this was the last of them on my list, so not one of my favorites by Elvis, but I'm still gonna play it. It's not a bad song. Anyway, let me just have to get it up. Um, Here we go. Okay. No, there's no point. Here. Go.
Hold me close, hold me tight, make me thrill with delight. Let me know where I stand from the start. I want you, I need you, I love you with all my heart. Every time that you're near, all my cares disappear. Darling, you're all that I'm living for. I want you, I need you, I love you more and more. I thought I could live without romance until you came to me. But now I know that I will go on loving you eternally. Won't you please be my own? Never leave me alone. 'Cause I die every time we're apart. I want you, I need you, I love
So
you
messed up the pictures here.
with all my heart. Well, I thought I could live without romance until you came to me. But now I know that I will go on loving you eternally. Won't you please be my own? Never leave me alone. 'Cause I die every time we're apart. I want you, I need you, I love you with all my heart.
Okay, that was I Want You, I Need You, I Love You by Elvis. Like I said, not one of my favorites of his, but not a bad song. It did make my list. I do like it. I'm just not crazy about it like some of his other ones. Um, but anyway, the next song, I'm going to just keep going through his number ones. He had 4 or 5 number ones in 1956, depending on how you count them. The next of his number ones was actually a two-sided number one. It's Don't Be Cruel / Hound Dog. I'm going to play the A side first, which was Don't Be Cruel. Anyway, let me just play that one. So that's going to be next.
You know I can be found sitting home all alone. If you can't come around, at least please telephone. Don't be cruel to who heart is true. Baby, if I made you mad for something I might have said, please don't forget my past. The future looks bright ahead. Don't be cruel to who heart is true. I don't want no other love, baby, it's just you I'm thinking of. Don't stop thinking of me, don't make me feel this way. Come on over here and love me, you know what I want you to say. Don't be cruel to who heart is true. Why should we be apart? I really love you, baby, cross my heart. Let's walk up to the preacher and let's say I do. Then you'll know you'll have me, and I know that I'll have you. Don't be cruel to who heart is true. I don't want no other love, oh baby, it's just you I'm thinking of. Don't be cruel to who heart is true. Don't be cruel to who heart is true. I don't want no other love, oh baby, it's just you I'm thinking of.
Hey, that was Don't Be Cruel. And I think you can tell that now that has a little more of that doo-wop kind of sound. You can hear the background singers. I guess by then Colonel Parker had hired some background singers to accompany him, doing the ooh and the bop bop, And that was very common in the mid to late 50s. It became what was called doo-wop. That's going to be my next feature, by the way. But doo-wop was already going on early on rock and roll. I guess it was sort of a crossover between rockabilly and doo-wop. So this, I would say, was sort of like a little bit of a doo-wop hit for Elvis, and a very good song. And it was, really, really. I think this was actually his biggest hit of all time. It depends on how you kind of count the weeks at number one. But like I said, this was a two-sided single. And technically, the flip side did not chart. It wasn't released. I guess it kind of depends on how you count it. I mean, a lot of radio stations were advertising the flip side Hound Dog as part of the two-sided hits. So some people do consider Hound Dog a number one as well. Anyway, that's going to be the next song I'm going to feature, Hound Dog. And I think I should give you a little bit of background on Hound Dog. Elvis did not write any of his own songs. And Hound Dog was a pretty famous song, I think, even before Elvis covered it. It was the original version was by a blues artist named Big Mama Thornton. Maybe I should play that one first, actually, because I have some extra time. I may as well do that. So I'm gonna do Big Mama Thornton's version. This is actually a blues song. So here it goes. I'm gonna feature Big Mama Thornton's version of Hound Dog. So here we go.
You ain't nothing but a hound. When something around door. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. When something around door. You may wag your tail, but I ain't gonna be you don't hold you like that. But I can see through that. Yeah, you know me.
That was Big Mama Thornton's version of Hound Dog. I think it's really excellent. Uh, yeah, I didn't show a picture. I probably should have. I probably should have featured this one last week when I was featuring blues, because I think she recorded that one in 1952. This is definitely pre-rock. But Elvis did cover this song, and his song version sounded a lot different. I'm gonna play his version next. I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard this. But anyway, here's Elvis's version.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. You're crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. You know they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lie. Yeah, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit. You ain't no friend of mine.
Well, that's gotta be one of the greatest rock and roll songs of all time. Did come in really high on my list. I'm not gonna give any hints or anything, but most of these songs came in on my list that I'm featuring today. Ellis is pretty great musician. You can't deny that. And I think I just want to say one more thing about Hound Dog before I go to his last number one song in 1956, which was "Love Me Tender." Um, you know, uh, General Tom Parker. I don't know why, but I think partly because the governor. A lot of people hated Elvis. I mean, the kids loved it. There was no question about that. But he was from Mississippi, and the governor of Mississippi was a real racist asshole. And he didn't like the fact that Elvis was doing race records and, swaying his pelvis and getting millions of teenage girls all riled up. So he wanted him to clean up his image, and I think he even threatened his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, that Elvis had to clean up his image. So Elvis tried to clean his image up. And one way he did it was he had him dress nicer. He was wearing leather suits before that. He wanted him to wear like regular suits and look, like a respectable young man. And he got him on Ed Sullivan singing Hound Dog, but he put a hound dog on stage with Elvis. He had made him sing Hound Dog to a hound dog. And Elvis hated that, naturally. I would have too. And Elvis got really pissed. He actually got drafted in the Army as punishment because he didn't go along with the clean cut image that the Colonel. You have to see the movie Elvis to see what was going on. But I said, in a lot of ways, he had a pretty tragic life, even though he was one of the greatest celebrities of all time. But now I'm just going to do his last number one from 1956, which was "Love Me Tender." I think this is a song you guys all know too. It's a ballad. Anyway, without further ado, I'll just feature it here.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me long, take me to your heart, for it's there that I belong and will never part. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me dear, tell me you are mine. I'll be yours through all the years, till the end of time. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will.
Okay, that was Love Me Tender by Elvis. That's going to conclude my feature on Elvis for today, anyway. Pretty amazing artist all around. Yeah, and I guess the last rockabilly artist I want to feature today is Buddy Holly. He sang along with the group. He was from Texas, Plano, Texas, I believe, and he got started with this trio here called the Crickets. Buddy Holly and the Crickets, or sometimes just known as the Crickets. I think he became so famous nowadays. People just think of him, Buddy Holly. There's a really good movie about him too. It's called The Buddy Holly Story. I think it came out around '78. That's another movie I would highly recommend you watch. But Buddy Holly, he was very different from Elvis. He was from Texas. He was from the South, like Elvis. But I'd say he had a little bit more of a nerdy image. I mean, Elvis was just a handsome hunk. Whereas Buddy Holly, he kind of, he's wearing those glasses, those kind of thick frame '50s glasses. He kind of looks like a high school nerd to me. But he wasn't a nerd at all. He was an amazing rock singer. And, he got his audiences riled up too, not as big as Elvis did. But he had some pretty great hits, and my uncle loved Buddy Holly. And a lot of people in the '50s did, I think. And the first song I'm going to feature by Buddy Holly and the Crickets, let me just go back to my list. Yeah, I think their first big hit was That'll Be the Day. That was actually their only number one. Elvis had a total of 17 number ones, but Buddy Holly and the Crickets only had one, namely That'll Be the Day, although they had a lot of really great hits. So I'm going to play That'll Be the Day next. Anyway, let me put that one up.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause love me, baby? Still you tell me maybe that someday, well, I'll be blue. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, when Cupid shot his dart, he shot it at your heart. So if we ever part, then I leave you. You sit and hold me and you tell me boldly that someday, well, I'll be through. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the day when you make me cry. You say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, that'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day. That'll be the day.
I think that's a really great song. That may be my personal favorite Buddy Holly song. I'm not sure. I'm gonna do another one by him and the Crickets. Oh boy, this is another one I really like of his. Let me get that one up. Yeah, here goes.
All of my love, all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. Oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy. Oh boy, the whole world can see that you were meant for me. All of my life I've been waiting. Tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. Oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy. Oh boy, the whole world can see that you were meant for me. Stars appear and the shadows are falling. You can hear my heart calling. A little bit of loving makes everything right. And I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all of my kissing. You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. Oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy. Oh boy, the whole world can see that you were meant for me. Dum dum dum, oh boy. Dum dum dum, oh boy. My love, all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. Oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy. Oh boy, the whole world can see that you were meant for me. All of my life I've been waiting. Tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. Oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy. Oh boy, the whole world can see that you were meant for me. Stars appear and the shadows are falling. You can hear my heart calling. A little bit of loving makes everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all of my kissing. You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. Oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy. Oh boy, the whole world can see that you were meant for me.
That was Oh Boy, another one of my favorites by Buddy Holly. One thing I didn't mention about Buddy Holly, he had a unique style. I mean, he did a lot of fast-paced stuff, but one thing that was unique to Buddy Holly, he did what was known as the hiccup kind of effect. You can hear it in this song. He did, I don't know if I can do it, but he did it in this song. He also did it in several other of his songs where he goes, I don't know. A good example of that is Peggy Sue. Maybe I'll do that one next. That was not with the Crickets. I think that was, at least it was credited to Buddy Holly. I don't know why it wasn't credited to the Crickets, but I'm going to do Peggy Sue next. I think that's actually his most well-known So let me get that one up. Okay.
If you knew Peggy Sue, then you know why I feel blue without Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, galleys. I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Oh, how my heart yearns for you, oh, Peggy. My Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, yes, I love you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue. Pretty, 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 pretty Peggy Sue. Oh, oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, and I need you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue, with a love so rare and true. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Well, I love you, gal. I want you, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, Peggy Sue, pretty, 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 pretty Peggy Sue. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, yes, I need you, Peggy Sue. I love you, Peggy Sue, with a love so rare and true. Oh, Peggy, my Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, and I want you, Peggy Sue. Oh, well, I love you, gal, and I want you, Peggy Sue.
Well, that one, I think you can really pick up the hiccup effect. Yep. Egg, you say, you know, the kind of breakup of the voice, you know, you get the idea. And actually, I think he was a pioneer of the hiccups sound, and several others picked up on it later, including Bruce Chanel and Hey Baby, and Connie Francis, and Stupid Cupid, and I'm sure there were several others who used that as well. I can't think of them right now, but I think that also kind of got incorporated into doo-wop. And I think I just have time for one more. I featured a ballad by Elvis. Buddy Holly did a really beautiful ballad too. I'll do that one next. It's called True Love Ways. One of his prettiest songs, I think. Let me pull that one up. Yeah, here we go.
Just you know why you and I will by and by know true love ways. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why just you and I know true love ways. Throughout the days, our true love ways will bring us joys to share with those who really care. Sometimes those who really care. Sometimes we'll sigh, sometimes we'll cry, and we'll know why just you and I know true love ways.
Well, that concludes my I think that's gonna conclude all the songs I'm gonna play today. I really like that song, "True Love Ways." Beautiful song, and it just shows you the variety that Buddy Holly could do. Yeah, and I love how they do the instruments on that one. They got some really beautiful sax playing, sax and violins, I think. And that concludes my feature on Rockabilly for today. So thank you for watching. Long live rock, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.